Being petite, it can be really hard to find clothes that fit you correctly, and shopping can be super frustrating. You can feel like you're never gonna find anything that makes you feel good. And if you are petite, you know that you are 5'4" and under. I am 5'2", so I know the struggle can be really hard. So today I'm gonna share a few tips that I use when I'm styling my clothes or when I'm shopping that have really helped me, and I think they're gonna help you too. So let's get started. My first tip is to know your inseam or your inseam range. Now, the inseam on a pair of pants or jeans is measured from the crotch down to the hem. And I feel like we probably all have different length pants or jeans in our closets to wear with different shoes. So just to know what inseam works for you is really helpful, especially when you're shopping online. Because on the majority of shopping sites, whatever item you're looking at, they're gonna have a description, and in that description, it will have the inseam length in there. For example, my go-to inseam lengths are like a 26 to a 29-inch inseam. Anything longer than that, I'm gonna have to shorten the pant or jean or wear like platform sky-high heels. So I would recommend take a pair of pants or jeans that you love and lay them flat on the ground, measure them from the crotch down to the hem, and I think that's a good starting point for an inseam that works for you. And depending on what shoes you want to wear with the next pair of pants or jeans that you get, you can either go maybe a little bit shorter or a little bit longer. My next tip is don't be afraid to cut your jeans. Now, I like a raw hem on my jeans, so if you don't, I'd probably skip to the next tip. But if you don't mind a raw hem, I mean, I even buy some of my jeans that already have a raw hem, and then if they're too long, it's just super easy to just cut them off at the right length. So how I do it is I put on my pair of jeans with the shoes that I want to wear with the jeans, and then I roll them under to the correct length. I look at them in the mirror, you know, from the side, from the front, and I even try them on with multiple shoes that I think I can wear them with to make sure it'll work. And then I mark it. And once I marked it, I lay them down on the ground, and to make sure I cut them in a straight line, I'll mark them at multiple points across the jean. And then that way when you're cutting it, you can just kind of connect the dots and you make a nice straight line. And in my opinion, the raw hem doesn't look amazing like right when you cut them. I feel like they look a little bit better after you wash them. And you can just, you know, over time, they'll kind of fray a little bit and you can just cut those long strings. And I think this is a great way to wear your jeans. I think it's a little edgy, it's really common and popular, and it's really nice for us petite girls because we can just snip our jeans to the perfect length. Along those same lines as knowing what your inseam is on a pair of pants or jeans, knowing what the rise is that really flatters your figure and makes you feel good is really helpful. So the rise on a pair of pants or jeans is measured from the crotch up to the waistline. On petite frames, I really think a higher rise is really flattering. It just helps elongate our legs and makes us look a little taller. Now the rise is going to be different on everybody because we're all different shapes and sizes. For example, my favorite rise on myself is like a 10.5 to an 11-inch rise, but on somebody else that's a lot more petite than I am, or maybe you have a shorter body, trying those mid-rise jeans or maybe even a low-rise jean, that might look more like a high-rise on you. So I would recommend just trying multiple pairs of jeans or pants with different rises to find what really works for your body shape and what makes you feel the best. Just a few more tips on denim. We have to talk about the style of denim. So I think the most flattering style of denim really on anybody is more of like that slim, straight look. But a couple other pairs that I think are really flattering on petite women are boot cut or flares. Now, a boot cut is really slim through the leg and it goes out just slightly more at the ankle. And you can imagine a boot cut jean, they're really nice to wear with ankle booties. And a flare can even go out wider at the bottom of the jean. So that hem should really go all the way down to the floor. And a flare can really make your legs look miles long. So if you haven't tried like some different cuts of jeans to see what flatters your shape, I would definitely give it a try. And then one more styling tip with denim is I would not cuff your denim. I think that cuff at the hem of the jean just creates a horizontal line. It can cut your leg off and it can make you look shorter. Okay, let's move on to tops. I would recommend shopping for cropped tops. I know people probably think, oh, I need to stay away from crop tops, but a lot of those tops can fit more like a normal top if you're really petite. I shop for crop tops all the time, and I love when they hit like just at the top of my jeans. It creates a really seamless look, almost like a bodysuit effect, and you're not wearing a bodysuit. I would also look for cropped sweaters. I know crop sweaters are really hard to find because everything is so oversized right now, but if you can find a crop sweater, I think they work really well for petites. They'll either, sit really well at your waistline, or if they're a little bit longer, you can do the front tuck or the French tuck. That's really nice to create a little bit of definition at your waist. It shows a little bit more of your pants or jeans, so it makes you look a little bit taller. And if it's a crop sweater, you're not gonna have all the fabric of an oversized sweater to deal with. Okay, the next tip is on sleeves. Sleeves are usually way too long. I mean, even on the shirt that I'm wearing, look at this. Look how long that is. Isn't that ridiculous? So I'm usually rolling them under, but what I usually look for, like especially with a sweater, is something that's more like an elastic cuff. That way I can, push it up and it'll stay there, because anything that's wider, like a bell sleeve or a really wide sleeve, is gonna be way too long and just kind of drives me crazy because you can't really do anything with it. And then for outerwear and blazers, if the sleeves are too long, I usually get mine altered. That is me. But there's a tip, kind of like a tip or hack that's going around, that people use a hair tie and put it around the arm, and then you can kind of cinch up the jacket around the hair tie and it'll stay up there like you just kind of pushed it up, like an effortless look. I love that look. I tried it and I tried to show it on a little clip, but couldn't really get it to work very well. I didn't like how it looked, and I really didn't like how it felt around my arm. I think it would drive me crazy. But if it doesn't bother you, I think that's a good little hack to use. Just another little tip with a jacket or a blazer is just to make sure that the shoulders really fit you. Make sure that that hem of the jacket or blazer just hits the outside of your shoulder. If it's past that, I feel like it's just gonna look too big and bulky and can overwhelm a petite frame. The next tip is on outerwear. For petites, I think finding that coat that fits you perfectly is really hard. If you can find a coat that fits your shoulders and then is more like cinched in at the waist, I think that's the most flattering, because it's not super oversized and just kind of swamps you. But everything is oversized now, so another tip that I look for is finding a coat with a belt. That way you can tie it around your waist and define that portion of your body. And then another thing that I like to do that I mentioned in my last video, but I think it's worth repeating, is if you want to wear the coat open, tie the belt behind the coat. That will create the illusion of a more cinched in waist, and it looks really pretty. And then I'll also show a clip on how I tie the knot behind the coat. This is just a really sleek way to tie the knot, and it really lays nicely against the coat. Another tip is to look for nude shoes or heels. I think a nude heel is a petite person's best friend. My favorite is a pointed toe nude heel. The pointed toe really elongates your leg, and also choose a nude color that matches your skin tone. That will also elongate your leg. If it doesn't match quite right, I think that could cut off your leg and make you look a little shorter. You could probably also do this with flats if you don't like heels. I would again go for more of maybe an almond toe or a pointed toe flat. I think that would have the same effect. I hope some of these tips help some of those petite beauties out there. I know it can be really discouraging trying to find clothes that make you feel good. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any other petite styling ideas or petite shopping tips. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video.